This is my Model 3, and it is one before the Highland refresh. That means, as you can see, it doesn't come with any interior lighting on the inside. But we're about to change that, and we're gonna add actually more interior lighting than the Highland comes with, so don't be too jealous. We have this amazing kit that we're going to use to light up our Tesla. So we have a few things in here. We have an armrest light that's going to go along this part right here. We also have this center console light, and that's gonna go right here. This I'm super excited for because it shines down this entire area and it's going to look amazing. You also get this super long strip right here, and this one is going the entire length of your dash. You're basically gonna put some 3M tape on it and stick it right in here. I'm super excited for this, so let's get to installing. The last thing that it comes with, this controller right here. It plugs in right underneath there, no problem, so that whenever you open your doors, it automatically turns on. You don't have to do anything for this to work. It's super plug and play, super easy. First step of this install is going to be removing this back panel right here. You're gonna get the bag that has the power cord, adapter, and the tools in it. We're gonna need these 3 items, only one of these though, to remove this back here. This back part right here is what we need to remove. You can see that there's a little line right here. So we're gonna take the pry tool and get in here. You wanna open the left side first and then go to the right side. Use the bigger end of the pry tool. You're simply popping out all of these clips right here and getting access to this. You're gonna have to finesse it a little bit because it is quite tight down here, but that's it, plugged in, split out, and you can see that we now have this power cord right here. From there, you're gonna wanna go back to the box and get the controller. This kit is expandable, so you can take the controller out. You can see that you have an armrest light, footwell light, you have a place for the power to go in, dashboard light, and center console light. So all these plugs, if you wanna pick up more lights, you can plug in here, use the same module. Now that we have it plugged in, we can test a few things. So I'm grabbing the armrest kit. It's gonna come with this that goes out of the control unit, goes to these 2 heads, and then you're basically going to just plug the end of this strip into here, and then we have to run it up there. And this cover needs to come off too. There's just clips holding this down as well. You're gonna pull it up, and that's gonna come off just like that. It's held in by this cable right here, so we're just going to gently place it. Okay, that wasn't very gentle, but find something to rest it on like that. Now, if you open the armrest, you can see that there's some light passing through right here, and that is basically where the wire from up there is gonna run through to get down here. So we can take our light strip. You're gonna wanna find the center of it. They give you plenty of excess room, but it's going to be about right here. And so you're gonna take this and shove this little thin piece right here in between the panel gaps. So a trick that I find with these corners is if you go on this area back here and you start shoving it in, you can push excess up here to get it in the corner easier. Also, if you have like a pry tool or a spudger or something, you can use that to help push it in further. However, I'm having some pretty good success just using my fingers and a whole lot of patience. This panel actually clips into here, so if you want some more room, you can remove this right here. So you see this between the plastic and the carpet right here? If you pull that apart a little bit, that's where this is gonna go. So you don't need to pull that off unless you want more room for it to go in here. So there's a few different gaps you can put this through, but everything seems kind of tight except this one. So I'm just going to shove it in here, pull it down, and it's gonna sit like this. On the back, it comes out like that. Now we're just gonna do that for the other side. And unless this is fully open, you're not gonna be able to tell. It still looks pretty clean though. And the hinge still functions, no problem. If I close it like this, you can see that the wires freely slide back and forth, so there's no biting or pinching. Now you can take this and you're going to just plug each hole into each receiving end. Technically, this is a transmitting end because it's going to transmit the light. You really have to push it in to make sure it's secure. Pretty good design. And I'm actually gonna disconnect this and feed the wire up. Super easy, fissioning up through the bottom. I was able to get the wire through here. So we're just going to plug it into where it says power cord, because that's obviously the power. And then we have armrest light. So we're gonna go to the one that says armrest light and see what we get. And boom, look at that. It is super bright, even during the day. Next, we're gonna install the center console light. This one is going to go underneath here. You have 2 options with this one. You can either just shove it in or you can use 3M tape. I like being super secure, so we are going to peel off this backing and use the 3M tape. So it's stuffed back in there so you can barely see the light. You won't even know it's there until you turn it on. We have the wire coming out on this side, and now it's time to tuck it. So for this one right here, we have all this wire that can make it to the back. You're gonna want to stuff it underneath here and then it's gonna run all along here to the back. You could use a tool for this, like the ones that it came with, and you can gently just push the wire in between the seams, and it's gonna run underneath the entire way just like this. Moving the chair down does help get in here. This is gonna come over this little circly bit right here and back up here, and you can see it tucks back here.
You can see how I pulled the fiber optic cable out right here, and that's because if you wanted to, you could put it back this way as well. I think I'm going to redo mine to where it's this way. I originally didn't do it because it again pinched the fiber optic cable, but when you have that thicker black wire going above it, it's not going to pinch the fiber optic cable. You're totally fine if you want to run it through the hinge area as well. This way is just a little bit cleaner, though in all honesty, it really makes no difference. And if you don't want to worry about pinching at all, run it through the hinge area. I've been rocking the hinge area for about a week or two now, and the lights still stay in, no problem.
Right? That's really sharp, isn't it?
I think so too, yeah.
So this thicker wire is going to run between the carpet and the plastic. So this one can get tucked back here. You could take these wires and put them in here as well, but this is really sharp and I don't want it to cut this, so that's why it's going through here. You could take a Dremel and make this bigger and it'll give it a better fit and finish, so I'm going to do that later, not in the video, but just cut out a little bit right here. So this wire comes out, we can go to our main board, center console light, and let's light it up. Not super bright during the day, but it's definitely still there and it looks super cool. I can't wait to see that at night. It's gonna look amazing. You can already kind of see it reflecting off the charging pad right there, so I am excited to see that one at night. Because I was a bit silly and I forgot to talk about the front part before I installed it. Take a look at this animation it does. It's a lot cooler at night, but it does it for the top one, and this will light up, and this is gonna light up as well, and then after it does the animation, it lights up like this. So I'm gonna show you how to get this installed in place, and it looks super sick. To have this come out, we're going to take a few of these panels off. First, we're gonna pull this weather stripping back a little bit so that we can remove this panel right here. This one takes a lot of force to remove. It's gonna look like this on the back. And then you can remove this one right here. So these two clips are just gonna hold it in like this. Man, this thing is difficult to get off. You're gonna wanna pry it up from here, and then from this end, pull this out. Now you have more access. There's this tiny, tiny gap, and good thing this light bar is so thin, because if you want it done super cleanly, lift this up, and you can slide it out just like this. Really pull up on this part right here. I'm telling you, you gotta pull up on this and you're gonna be able to feed the wire through. So you can see that the wire is fed in through here and it stops right about here. There's a little notch and that's where that again is gonna stop. And now you could just use your adhesive and stick it along here or shove it in that little crevice right there, which is what I'm going to do. And boom, I don't know how long that was, but it took a minute. And with a lot of patience, it's installed. It's super clean, you can barely see it, but now let's make sure you see it and plug it in. So you're gonna take this, it's gonna go down here, and it's gonna go right between this panel and this panel right here. Once you have it tucked all underneath here, run it down here and it's gonna come out here. From there, you're just gonna go and tuck it underneath here all the way to the back. So once you do that, just like the other side, we're tucking it back here. And now we can take this and plug it in to where it says dashboard light and see what it looks like. And bada bing, bada boom. It is super bright. You can see it during the day. All of these lights are. So it's time to close it up back here. I moved the seat back a ton and now we're pushing it forward so that we have more room to work here. Always adjust your seat so you have plenty of room. So we're just gonna take our control module as well as these light strips and everything. Make sure nothing is snagged on anything. And we're simply going to push it down into this cavity. And then we can put our air cover back on. And so now let's put these panels back on. And this one is simply just gonna get clipped into place. Super simple, super easy. The wire is just tucked behind here, and then you're going to grab this bad boy. The bottom is gonna go in first because it's slightly curved like this. So make sure you get it behind the weather stripping, and up here you're just going to, and it snaps in like that. Make sure your weather stripping is now aligned up before you close the door so you don't damage it. You might notice that it's nighttime now. So let's check and look at the, oh my goodness, see the car is on because I'm preheating it and you can see it's already lit inside. It does a cool startup animation. I'll show it to you later, but I guess if you prepare the car already before you get in, This is what it looks like. That is super futuristic. And now the future looks like the future. Well, I have it on the purple mode right now. Look at that. That just looks so beautiful. Amazing. They did a beautiful job on these lights. Just lock it. You can see it completely in the dark now. It literally looks like a giant lightsaber. We'll close this. And once the doors close, it locks, it turns off the lights.